Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome to the last of the E3 Day 2 Sony conference. I'm going to go over every single thing that Sony actually went over and every single game that they announced. I know that in the UK it was like 2 a.m, so I didn't watch it. I did watch it when I woke up in the morning, and I was actually impressed by their conference. Even though, yeah, I am an Xbox gamer, there are like a couple of games that I'm like, oh yeah, that's actually pretty cool. But some of them are a little bit, I can't be asked with. I'm not going to buy a PlayStation just to play like one or two of the games, really. But, you know, I'm still impressed by some of their games. But we're going to go from the start to beginning. So the first game that they announced was God of War, the reboot. It's not God of War 4, it's God of War, the reboot. So they've literally started it all again, and it looks amazing. It looks a little bit different from what they actually made from the start. God of War is usually like a whole load of just action, just cutting up people, mashing buttons and stuff like that. This one seems a little bit more strategical. It looks like more like an open world type of adventure type thing. It's still got like a path to follow, but it looks like you have to take your time in attacking people. So it looks a little bit different in that way, but it still looks good, is the thing. I'm not going to say that it looks bad. Like, God of War always was good, but this one looks really good. From like a reboot type of thing, to make it look like that is amazing. But then the second game that they announced was Days Gone, which it looks to me it looks like a serious style Dead Rising game, just without the combo weapons. It just looks like a serious style Dead Rising game, which I would be happy with, really. That's like one of the games that I would want to see come to every single console, but that's like one of the games that I would buy a PlayStation 4 for. It does look good. It kind of focuses on a biker crew, but it looks like it might come out this year, it might come out next year, but I'm not quite sure just yet. But it focuses on a biker crew which are trying to still be like a community as like a post-apocalyptic type of thing, which the gunplay looks okay, even though yes, they were probably played on the easiest difficulty ever, where, you know, you can literally walk straight past a zombie and it doesn't do anything. But it still looked okay in that way, and it looks like survival of the fittest still. So, yeah, it looks good. It looks really good in that way. But then they went on to the third game is The Last Guardian. I really don't care about it. It's one of those games that it's just like, yeah, it's going to be good, but, well, it doesn't really interest me. Like, it doesn't look good for me. Most people, yes, they really do enjoy it, which, yeah, I'm not trying to be biased about it, but it doesn't look good to me. I wouldn't want to play it. I know that, yes, it's going to have a really good story and stuff like that. I know that a lot of games don't really have any dialogue at all, and they're amazing for story, like Limbo. But, The Last Guardian, I don't think I would really enjoy it as a person, but it's coming out October 26th, and yeah, it does look good, but it's not my type of game, really. But then the fourth game is Horizon. That one, I'm kind of more into the adventure, open world type thing, third person open type world type games I like more. But Horizon looks incredibly good. I think it's going to be a 2017 game. They didn't show a release date for it, so it's going to be a 2017 game. I think it's going to be like an early 2017 game, but it's going to be near like Wildlands, which is going to be a little bit harder for Ubisoft to try and get their game out. But since it's only a PlayStation exclusive game, it still looks pretty good. The gameplay for it was really good compared to last year's. It still looks exactly the same as that one, and as well with how like the combat works and stuff like that. Yes, the person who was playing it was really bad, and yes, they did do live gameplay for it, so that means if they did mess up, they messed up and they were probably fired for the rest of their lives, but it still looked good. Then the next game was called Detroit Become Human, which if people have never played Until Dawn, it's literally that, but it's like an investigation type game. So it's like a D4 and Sherlock Holmes type game. D4 is like a style shader investigation game, which never got released as a second episode. They only did episode 1, and that was it. But Detroit Become a Human, it looks like a giant series that you can just keep on playing, and it looks actually really good. Looks exactly the same as what Until Dawn does, but it's no real jump scares. I think it's just going to be an actual just a full-on detective type thing, which you're actually an android, but it looks like the androids are going like corrupt, and they're actually finding out that there's no purpose for them, and they're just being controlled by the humans, so they're kind of revolting and stuff like that. So it looks interesting in that way. Then the next game is Dead Rising 7, which it looked like PT to me. It literally did look like PT, but not fully PT. And since as well, it's actually going to have full VR compatibility. I think it was trying to be PT too much, and since Hideo Kojima couldn't do anything with that one, and he couldn't make that one, wish he did, but you know, doesn't matter. You know, it still might come alive as something like that. I kind of would like it to be like a PT style game, a first person style game, instead of having everything else, because PT was actually pretty good to watch, and actually was pretty scary in some places. So I kind of want it to become something like that. Maybe not fully that, because you know, I don't think it would do that well to become a full-on PT game. I think PT has to be PT itself. Just allow PT to become real, and it'd be amazing. But then after that, they actually showed off that the PlayStation VR, the Project Morpheus, as the codename was. I don't think it's actually called Project Morpheus anymore. It is called the PlayStation VR. It's actually coming out October 13th, which is going to be $399. Jesus Christ, it's a lot of money. It is a lot of money to do VR now, which I don't think it's going to hit off as amazing thing, even though yes, the PlayStation VR stuff did look amazing to play and everything, and it's going to have 50 games at launch. I don't think VR is going to be good. I don't think. I know that today actually, when I seen like the Gaming Lemon, he tweeted out saying that is it just me, or does VR look like really off? It doesn't look right towards anything. I don't think it's gonna be right now. Like, I think it's come out too soon out of anything. Just allow the consoles to be able to run everything and sort it, and then be able to put it all out there. But yeah, they shown off 4 games that you can get with VR, actually 5 if you count Resident Evil. But the first game was called Farpoint, which it looks like you crash landed on a alien planet and you have to adventure through it, so it looks okay in that way. And the second game was a Star Wars Battlefront X-Wing mission, which finally we've got the Star Wars Battlefront space battles, but it looks like there's no multiplayer, of course. It's only going to be a couple of missions that you can play. It's not going to be a full-on battle in space. Wish they did it for the actual game, and hopefully in Battlefront 2 they actually bring out the space battles and single-player missions again. Then the third game was Batman VR, which it looks like it's going to be kind of similar to the Telltale game that they released for Batman, where it's more of a investigation type game. That would be a pretty fun thing to see if they do it like an actual investigation game instead of like an adventure game, like an action. So not quite sure yet. We'll see how that one works out. And then the fourth game that they released, or the fifth game, is Final Fantasy 15 VR, which it looked really sluggish towards that. I wouldn't want to buy that one. It looked really sluggish, and it really looked like it was smooth gameplay, so didn't look right. Then after that, they actually shown off another mission in Infinite Warfare. Yes, it does look good, but I'm still not gonna buy it. I don't want another futuristic game. Like, I'm buying Battlefield 1. I don't want a futuristic game again, really, from COD. Like, COD doesn't do futuristic right, and it looks like they're kind of showing off what Destiny can have at the same time, which I'm surprised that PlayStation didn't have like Destiny stuff coming out, like a trailer for Destiny 2 or another trailer for the Destiny expansion that they're bringing out, but they didn't have any of that, so I'm confused about that. But the Infinite Warfare, yes, they've shown off some of the space battles kind of stuff. The map is still the Milky Way, so everything about that. You could go and attack something that's circling, I think it was... it might have been Neptune or something like that. I'm not quite sure what it was. I forgot already. But they're attacking a ship that's in orbit near there, and you use your ship to kill off the other fighter ships in the sky, and it looks kind of smooth and stuff like that, but it's still not a game that I'm going to pick up. really. It's not going to be one of those games. But then after that, they pleased every single fan that was there. They're remastering Crash 1, 2, and Warped. I never played the Crash games, but it would be a start of playing those type of games. I know that everybody loved them and stuff like that, so it's one of those game franchises where everybody loved. I just never played them, but since they're remastering them for the PlayStation 4, then it's fair enough for that. And then they shown off that Crash Bandicoot's coming into Skylanders. You can play as him, you can buy him. So then we go on to the next game, which is Star Wars Lego, which yes is a third-party game, and I would play it. It's actually not a third-party game. It's going on every single console, pretty much. It's one of those games that's like amazing to play. It's gonna be so much fun to play a Lego Star Wars game, The Force Awakens. It's gonna be so much fun, and like the flying sequence actually looks good. It's weird. It actually looks good. And then where can I start on the next one? It's a Kojima game. Since Sony got Kojima, they actually showed off his next game, his new game called Death Stranding. I have not a clue what it is. It's got Norman Reedus, or whatever the hell his name is, one from Walking Dead again. I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is. It looks so weird in that way, but it's just so weird to see it. It's like he was naked on a beach and there was a baby, so he picked up the baby and the baby turned into oil, like invisible, and it was crawling down him. Not a clue. I have not a clue what he's trying to do, but he's just crazy, really. And then the last game they shown off, apart from Days Gone, I just included it on the other one, but is a Spider-Man game. They're making a Marvel Spider-Man. Insomniac are making a Marvel Spider-Man game. So Insomniac have gone from Xbox and going to PlayStation again, which that's fine with me, because, you know, Sunset Overdrive did do well. I just feel like they probably suit PlayStation a little bit more. They are a PlayStation organization, so yeah, it's a Spider-Man game. It actually looks pretty good in that way. Not like, you know, like Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 3, but still looks good in that. His costume, I don't think it's about the next Spider-Man film, because the costume is different. So I think it's another alternate universe Spider-Man, but I'm not quite sure yet. We'll soon see. But that was the Sony conference, all in 15 minutes or 16 minutes, however the hell you want to do this at. Yeah, it's actually pretty good. I wasn't biased about stuff. Some games I didn't really like, some games I did like, but you know, still it was quite good. But yeah, that was E3. On Thursday, I will have a video about my top 5 games for E3 itself. So hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you in the next video. So peace out.